Hello, welcome back to Oliver's Greenhouse. Now, I'm not going to be available to make a video this weekend. I certainly don't have any time to do it. So what I thought I'd do is, I've been really busy in the greenhouse. So after that massive orchid haul, we have all the bulbophyllums. I've basically been furiously potting up and mounting. Most of them I've actually mounted this time round. One of them I've put in one of my big sauce hangers, which I've actually forgot to put drain holes in. So maybe I should do that tonight before I'm too busy. Anyway, I'm super busy this weekend. So what I thought I'd do is just do a little quick video. What I'd really like to do in the upcoming, in the forthcoming weeks, is actually get out and do a tour of the greenhouse, because there's loads of really cool things which are either starting to come into flower or are already in flower. The trouble is, despite the fact that the day length is extending, it's just not enough time in the day. By the time I get back, it's still too dark out there to really go and have a look at anything. So what I thought I'd do this evening is I go and grab a few things which are in flower, and we'll have a quick look at those. Okay, so what I've done is I've just gone and grabbed 3 orchids which are looking particularly nice at the moment out of the greenhouse. So we've got Coelogene cristata. Now this deserves a medal really. This thing was down to like 3 live pseudo bulbs before I built the greenhouse, because after I moved from my conservatory, this thing pretty much was on death's door, but it's looking really nice at the moment. Only 1 flower spike this year. I've had up to 3 on it before, but very pretty little flowers. I've got Vestreepia gutulata, which is in flower as well. And then, if some of you remember, a little while ago, I got some cuttings of, well, I got some kikis from Dendrobium kingianum from the Rothschilds at Exbury Gardens. And a couple of the canes are dying off, but they're doing sort of a beautiful swan song, so they're producing these lovely little flowers. I'll move you forward in a minute, we'll have a little look. And it looks terrible, but actually some of the kikis have been fine. They came with very little root on them at all. So I potted them up, lots of sphagnum moss, but we've got some new growth, so there's been some new shoots have come up from the bottom. So I'll move you guys in and we'll have a little look at that. Okay, so hopefully that's nice and clear. This is Vestreepia gutulata. That's really enjoying the colder temperatures at the moment, and it's put on a real abundance of flowers. Obviously this would look a lot more impressive if I got my macro lens yet, which I just haven't. I'm saving hard, but we haven't got it quite yet. But the flowers look really pretty, and it's flowering profusely as well. It's done 5 or 6 blooms already. There's another flower over the back here with my finger. This one's not long been out. This one's just finishing. It's weird, when the flowers are finished, they just close up and then drop off, rather than sort of dropping off as they are open, as most orchid flowers do. So yeah, sort of an interesting observation on these. If I turn I've got a head torch on. If I turn my head torch on, I might be able to see these a little bit better, or at least in some more detail. I'll see if I can zoom you in a little bit on them as well. There we go, let me just try and refocus. There we go. So I'll sort of use my forehead to illuminate these flowers for you. You can see how unbelievably dainty they are. They have come with these sort of weird little antennas up here. And then they have these unusual sort of side, I don't know, they just look like antennae. They look like insects, I think they do, but they have a very attractive sort of dotty appearance to the lip. No discernible smell. Really like cool temperatures and lots of moisture, and they sulk when it gets too warm. So that's doing really well, really happy with that. I'll move you guys over and we'll have a look at some of the other ones. Okay, so here's my Coelogene. Kind of looks a bit weird when I light it like that with the head torch. So, but you get the idea. It looks very pretty. It's got this very bright sort of yellow coloration in the lip of the flower in here, which is really striking. If I light up, you'll be able to see it in there. And it has got a slight smell to it as well. It's not particularly fragrant, but it does smell really, there's certainly something there. It's not a strong perfume, but I can smell something. But yeah, it's just what a survivor. Ever since the greenhouse has been up and running, this thing has just been growing exponentially. So I'm just really happy that it's made a bit of a comeback, because it's been a bit touch and go. There's one more flower to open yet. We've got this bud down here that hasn't quite opened yet. So hopefully that'll stay open and keep looking pretty for more than a couple of days. It's only trouble with bulbophyllum, either or. They don't stay around for too long. That bulbophyllum fascinator, which bloomed of mine, lasted about, well, I don't know, it lasted over a week, so that was pretty good going. Okay, so that's Coelogene cristata. Okay, so here's my Dendrobium kingianum. If I just zoom you guys out, you might get a bit of an idea of what it actually looks like. So it's in one of my little, tiny handmade DIY pots that I drilled the holes in. There's a lot of sphagnum in here, fine grade orchid bark and a little bit of perlite. Now this literally just came as a few little keys, hardly any roots at all. And if we look carefully as well, we can see this is dying off. It's going to die, but it's doing its swan song, so it's produced a nice flower spike. And so this one over here has also produced a flower spike. And then down the bottom, I don't know if you can see that. If I get some light on it, hopefully you can see it by my finger. It's producing another cane, and I notice there's another one coming out down in here as well. So it is surviving. It must have put on some roots. So yeah, a success. And this little kiki here has actually stayed alive, so it's quite lush and green. But as this stem here dies off, it's doing a swan song for us. So it's producing these lovely, pretty little purple flowers. It's quite a resilient little orchid anyway. If you think where it grows naturally in the wild, in Australia, it gets quite a bit of drought and stuff. I'm going to zoom in so hopefully we can see that flower a little bit better. There we go. So that gives you an idea of what it looks like, especially if I light it up. Very pink inside, but sort of light paler pink around the outside, and then this dark purple lip inside. No smell, but a pretty little flower. So those are just a few things which I've picked out of the greenhouse this evening. It's feeding night tonight, so I'm going to go around and start the process of feeding everything. When I get some time, we'll take you in the greenhouse and we'll have a proper look at all the mounted wall. It's looking brilliant now because all of the bulbophyllum I bought are pretty much mounted in my orchid saucer mounts and are currently hanging off the wall. So they look really good at the moment. It's starting to really fill up. We're starting to get some mass in there as well, so that's going to help with temperature fluctuations through the summer. I've got to clean the swamp cooler as well, or the evaporative cooler. That's coming up because we're getting that ready for summer, so it's working as efficiently as possible. So as soon as I get some time and a bit of light, we'll disappear off and in there. Also, just a quick reminder, I'm on Instagram as well, so if you look up Oliver's Greenhouse on Instagram, I post a lot of pictures on there as and when things come into flower. I'm also on Google Plus as well, so if you want to PM me with anything, please don't hesitate. Just I like interacting with you guys as much as possible. Don't be afraid. If any of you attempt to make any of my mounts, please take some photos. You can post them on Google Plus to me. I can have a look at them on there. And it'd just be interesting to see how you're getting on with any of those. So that's pretty much it for this video. Just a quick zoom out. I'll have a quick last look at what we've got in front of us. The Kingianum, the Coleogeny, and the little Restreepia down there in the distance. Thanks again for watching. Happy growing, and make sure to tune in for another episode of Oliver's Greenhouse.